Have you noticed that becoming more aware of yourself hasn't made your life clearer? It just made you more uncomfortable, and you can't explain why. Then stick around, because this video is for you. You see, the frustrating part of this is that nothing is technically wrong with you. You're functioning normally as always. You might even feel like you understand more than before. But something feels off. It's like the more patterns you notice on others, the harder it is to ignore your own behaviors. And no one really explains this part of the journey. So if you're here, you're probably dealing with a quiet internal conflict. You can see your own patterns more clearly, but you don't know what to do with what you are seeing. And no, you're not imagining it. Right now, you're aware enough to notice your own contradictions, but you're not grounded enough to resolve them. And what you actually want is clarity that feels stable, not heavier. But here is the thing. The problem isn't what awareness does to you. It's not understanding what awareness is revealing about you. I went through this same process too, and I didn't understand it at first either. I know that what probably confuses you the most in this stage is that you are doing all the right things, thinking more, questioning more, but something fundamental is still missing. You are probably told that awakening starts with learning the truth about reality, but that's not what actually happens. Awakening doesn't start with learning about reality, it starts with honesty about yourself. There are three things to understand about this. The first one is that when your awareness increases, it doesn't make you better. It makes you more visible to yourself. Because the first thing it exposes is not wisdom, it's the self-avoidance you're trapped in. This is why this feels heavier instead of lighter. The second thing to understand is that the mind protects identity, not truth. You don't lie to yourself consciously, on purpose. You first rationalize the lie to make it comfortable. Let me give you an example of this. Let's take something simple, like smoking or drinking. If you had a bad day, you would turn it into, I deserve it. But if it was a good day, you will say, I'll celebrate. So there you have. The reasons are different, but the final action is the same. This means that the reason didn't cause the behavior. The desire of the behavior itself did. The mind just showed up after the decision was made to make sure your self-image stayed intact. This is the part nobody explains. We don't lie to ourselves to protect our actions. We lie to protect how we see ourselves. And this applies to everything: habits, relationships, beliefs, even spirituality itself. The third and most relevant factor to understand is that the thing that blocks your awakening isn't ignorance. What's stopping you from awakening isn't your lack of knowledge of what the truth of reality is. It's the self-justification pattern you are trapped in. As long as you have the need to be right, you will never be able to see the world with clarity. Because clarity requires one thing: the willingness to be wrong. Once you see this, the confusion changes. So, before any meditation practices, before learning any philosophy streams, before any talk of higher consciousness, there is a step zero you must start with. Are you capable of being honest with yourself when it costs you something? But it's not about punishing yourself or suppressing desire. Just this one rule: no reward without honesty. You can have the reward, but first admit the real reason to yourself. Think it like this: how would you judge your behavior if you saw it in someone else? That single shift breaks automatic self-lying and trains awareness without repression. So let's draw a line in the sand with this premise. Today, I stop lying and justifying myself. If I'm wrong, I'll change. That's not spiritual language. That's psychological clarity. Truth isn't meant to be comforting. Truth is meant to be corrective. So if you're feeling heavier, more aware, but less certain, now you know why. There is nothing wrong with you. You're just becoming aware without lying to yourself anymore. And that's where awakening actually begins. If this helped you make more sense of something you couldn't quite explain, please share it with someone you know could find these words helpful. And remember, awakening begins the moment you stop negotiating with yourself.